Welcome back. Today we explore the value of these top 10 most valuable wheat pennies that could be in your pocket change. Let's get started. First up, the 1939 Lincoln Wheat Cent holds an important place in American coin history. The Abraham Lincoln Wheat Cent series was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 16th U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. It remained in circulation until 1958, and during this period, the coins underwent several design and minting changes. The 1939 edition is notable because it represents the final years of the original wheat design, before the transition to the memorial reverse in 1959. During the Great Depression era, the minting of pennies saw some fluctuations due to the economic strain, which made any unique variations during this period highly valuable to collectors. Despite being an often overlooked year, the 1939 penny is a key piece in collecting sets of Lincoln Wheat Cents. The 1939 Lincoln Wheat Cent features the obverse design of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln is shown facing left, with the inscriptions in God, "We trust above liberty" to the right, and the date 1939 to the left of Lincoln's portrait. The reverse side, which is iconic in coin collecting, shows two wheat stalks framing the words E pluribus unum and the inscription United States of America above the words 1 cent. The D mint mark indicates that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint. The presence of the mint mark is crucial in determining rarity and value. For collectors, mint marks are vital in distinguishing between different coin variations from the same year. The 1939 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark is highly sought after. However, this specific coin is even more interesting because of its damage, a feature that only adds to its mystery and intrigue. The damage on this coin consists of tiny dots scattered across both sides, likely due to improper handling, storage, or other environmental factors. While this damage may diminish the coin's grade, it doesn't necessarily detract from its appeal in some collectors' eyes. Many collectors appreciate coins with unique characteristics, as they can add a level of intrigue and rarity to a collection. In damaged condition, a 1939 Lincoln Wheat Cent with a D mint mark can still fetch a significant price, especially if the damage is unique or identifiable as an error. Typically, a coin like this would fall in a range from $38,000 depending on its severity and overall market interest. In certain cases, rare damage or significant collector demand can push the price even higher. The key here is the rarity of the damage, the historical context, and the current market demand for damaged coins. Collectors who seek coins with damage often value these as part of an error or mystery collection, contributing to higher than expected prices in certain auctions or private sales. As always, when buying or selling such coins, grading and provenance will play a large role in determining their exact market value. Next up, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent is a part of the later years in the series, produced during the post-YE economic boom, when the country was experiencing rapid industrialization and population growth. During this period, coinage production surged to meet the increased demand. The 1952 penny, especially those with mint marks, carries a historical weight for its timing and place in American coinage history. The Lincoln Wheat series continued until 1958, with the design remaining unchanged through much of the 1940s and early 1950s. The 1952 coin represents the tail end of this era before the transition to the memorial design. Like all coins in the Wheat series, the 1952 penny features the likeness of President Abraham Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner that remains one of the most iconic in U.S. numismatic history. The obverse shows the familiar portrait of Lincoln, with the year 1952 on the left side and liberty on the right above Lincoln's portrait is the motto in God, "We trust." On the reverse, the classic wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent with United States of America inscribed above and E pluribus unum beneath. The D mint mark indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the 3 primary minting locations in the United States at the time. This particular coin has been subject to significant scratching, which is a form of damage that can detract from its overall appearance and grade. Scratches on a coin can occur during circulation, improper storage, or even mishandling. While scratches often reduce a coin's value, they can also add a unique touch, especially when they are light or irregular. Coins with such damage are commonly seen in good or fair grades, but they can still hold value to collectors who are looking for coins with a bit of character, or those who want to complete a particular series or set. In scratch damage condition, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Cent with a D mint mark would typically be valued at around $66,000. While this isn't a rare coin in terms of overall mintage over 1 billion 1950, 2 pennies where struck collectors may still find interest in it due to its unique damage or for use in a low-grade collection. The value can fluctuate depending on the severity of the scratches and the overall interest from collectors at auction. Next up, we have the 1944 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1-cent coin featuring the distinctive E mint mark. This coin is a true gem for collectors, especially when found with the right characteristics, even in a damaged condition. Let's take a deeper look at what makes this coin so special. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most iconic and well-known coins in U.S. history. This particular year is significant for several reasons, and it's important to understand its historical context before diving into its value in today's market. The year 1944 was during the middle of World War I, a time when the United States was facing economic challenges. The U.S. Mint, in response to the war effort, began using a higher percentage of copper in coin production. The 1944 penny was struck using copper instead of the previously used steel. This marks the return of the familiar copper penny after a wartime experiment with steel pennies in 1943. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is characterized by its classic design, which features a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'll find the 2 wheat stalks flanking the words 1 cent the D mint mark, representing the Denver Mint, can be found near the bottom of the reverse side of the coin. Lamination damage condition. Now, this specific coin features a rare and unique flaw known as a color shade lamination damage. This type of damage occurs when the copper layers of the coin do not properly bond during the minting process, causing peeling, discoloration, and a rough texture on the surface. Lamination errors like this are relatively uncommon, making this coin especially valuable for collectors interested in flawed pieces. Despite the condition, a 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny with AD mint mark and lamination damage can still fetch a significant price at auction. In today's market, such a coin can command anywhere from $200,000, depending on the extent of the damage and the interest among collectors. The uniqueness of this error adds to its desirability, especially for collectors of Lincoln Wheat Pennies, who are drawn to rare variations and flaws in the minting process. Coins with lamination damage have a niche but dedicated following, and their values can fluctuate based on the number of collectors vying for them. The 1944 D Wheat Penny is part of a larger group of wheat pennies that have been the subject of intense collecting interest due to their connection to World War I and the economic challenges of the time. Collectors often seek out these coins in any condition, but those with errors such as lamination damage have become highly sought after in recent years. This error adds a layer of rarity and intrigue to an already valuable coin. If you manage to find a 1944 D with such a flaw in your collection, it's definitely one to hold on to and could appreciate in value over time, especially if the market for error coins continues to grow. Next up, the 1958 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1-cent coin, a coin that, in spite of its dirty condition, can still hold significant value in today's auction market. Let's explore the background of this coin and why collectors are still eager to get their hands on it. The 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny is the final year in the series of wheat pennies, which were struck from 1909 to 1958. While it marks the end of an era, the coin remains highly regarded among collectors, especially when found in unusual conditions or with unique features. The 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny holds historical significance as it marks the end of the Lincoln Wheat series. In 1959, the U.S. Mint introduced the new Memorial Cent design, which featured the Lincoln Memorial Cent design, which featured the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse instead of the 2 wheat stalks. The 1958 coin thus represents the last of a long-standing tradition of coinage design and is a symbol of the era's cultural and political landscape. The design of the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny follows the same format as the rest of the series. On the obverse, we have Abraham Lincoln's portrait created by artist Victor David Brenner. The reverse side features the iconic wheat stalks, with the words 1 cent prominently displayed in the center. The absence of a mint mark on this coin indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as this was common for coins minted in Philadelphia at the time. Now, the 1958 penny in question is in what's referred to as a color shade, dirty condition. This means that the coin has been exposed to environmental elements or mishandling, which has caused it to lose its original shine and develop a grimy appearance. While this may seem like a negative aspect for some collectors, coins in less than perfect condition can still carry a certain charm and rarity for those who specialize in finding unusual examples. Despite its dirty condition, the 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark can still carry considerable value, depending on the exact circumstances. In its typical circulated condition, it might fetch anywhere between $10,000, however. The coin's appeal increases significantly if it's part of a rare group of similar 1958 pennies in unique conditions. Collectors with a keen eye for unusual variants are often willing to pay a premium for coins with distinguishing features, including those that appear worn, dirty, or aged. Collectors have a long-standing interest in the Lincoln Wheat series, particularly in coins that are rare, unique, or have unusual features. The 1958 penny without a mint mark fits into this category. Despite its dirty condition, it remains a sought-after piece for those who want to complete their collection of Lincoln Wheat pennies or focus on the last year of the series. The market for these coins tends to be steady, and as more collectors turn to vintage and worn coins, the value could increase over time, especially as this coin becomes harder to find in good condition. Next up, the 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it quickly became a mainstay in American coinage. The reverse of this coin features 2 wheat stalks, which is why it's often referred to as the wheat penny. By 1919, the United States had just emerged from World War I, a time when inflation was rampant and the economic recovery had begun. The 1919 penny was minted during this time of economic transition, making it historically significant. The design of the 1919 penny is known for its simple yet powerful imagery. The obverse features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse shows 2 stalks of wheat with a pluribus unum inscribed at the top and 1 cent at the bottom. This design was used on the Lincoln cent from 1909 until 1958, when it was replaced with the memorial design. The 1919 penny in particular is special because of its historical ties to the post-World War I period, making it a sought-after item for collectors. The condition of the coin greatly influences its value, and the very fine grade is a point of focus here. In very fine condition, the coin displays only minor wear, with most of the finer details still visible, including Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalk. The legend around the coin is clear, and the fields of the coin are minimally worn, providing a nice balance between detail and preservation. The 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny had a substantial mintage of approximately 309 million coins. While this number seems large, many of the 1919 pennies circulated extensively over the decades, and the condition of most surviving examples is not ideal for collectors. However, when it comes to the 1919 penny in very fine condition, its value in today's auction market is significantly higher. As of recent market trends, this coin can fetch between $55,000 in very fine condition, depending on the specific auction demand and its preservation. The higher end of this range may apply if the coin is graded by reputable grading services such as POS or NG. If you're looking at a coin that has been graded as extra fine or even uncirculated, the price could rise dramatically, sometimes crossing the $100 mark or higher. However, the true value of these coins lies in their rarity in higher grades, especially in the absence of a mint mark. There are certain notable errors with the 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny that have captured the attention of collectors. The most significant error associated with the 1919 penny is the D over S mint mark error, where a D mint mark was struck over an S mint mark. These rare errors can increase the value of the coin dramatically, sometimes worth hundreds of dollars, depending on the condition and rarity of the error. The 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny, despite being a fairly common coin in terms of mintage, remains a key piece in any serious collection. Its historical significance, coupled with its connection to a transformative time in U.S. history, ensures that collectors continue to seek out well-preserved examples. The Lincoln Cent series, especially from the early years, is one of the most collected types in the world, and the 1919 penny is no exception. Collectors who are building a complete Lincoln Cent collection often look to acquire this coin in better condition, particularly those that have been graded highly. As a result, the 1919 Lincoln penny continues to be a highly valuable piece in today's auction market. Next up, the 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a mid-century coin that was minted in a post-World War II America. The United States economy had shifted from wartime production to peacetime industry, and the country was undergoing a transformation. The war years had created scarcity of resources, and in 1948, the economy was beginning to boom as soldiers returned home and industries like automotive manufacturing flourished. The Lincoln Cent from 1948 represents this time of transition in U.S. history. The design had been largely unchanged since 1909, but the coin's widespread circulation during a time of prosperity makes it a significant relic of the late 1940s. Like most wheat pennies, the 1948 Lincoln Cent features Victor David Brenner's design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, while the reverse displays two stalks of wheat. However, what makes the 1948 penny notable is the possibility of varying color shades and layers, which arise due to the coin's interaction with environmental elements over the decades. In some cases, pennies like these may develop distinctive colors such as brown, reddish, brown, or sometimes even a tarnished or dirty appearance, depending on their exposure to the elements. These unique color shades and the dirt accumulated over time can be of interest to certain collectors who seek out unusual patinas, though it may affect the coin's grade negatively. The 1948 Lincoln Wheat Penny had a significant mintage of over 1 billion coins, making it one of the more common coins from the era. However, the coin's value in today's auction market largely depends on the condition and unique attributes of the coin. In its color shade or dirty condition, where the coin might exhibit signs of wear, dirt, and toning, the value typically remains on the lower end of the spectrum, ranging from $68,000 for a common coin. However, these coins with unusual color layers or patinas can sometimes fetch a little higher if the coloration is striking enough to catch the attention of collectors who appreciate such attributes. Despite its large mintage, the 1948 penny remains a popular coin for those interested in collecting Lincoln Cents, especially for its potential to exhibit a range of natural toning effects. It is rare to find a coin from this era in pristine condition due to the high circulation rate. Although error varieties of the 1948 penny are less well known, there are a few minor errors that can make the coin more valuable, such as off-center strikes or die cracks. These errors are typically subtle but are highly sought after by collectors who specialize in error coins. Despite the dirty or toned condition of many 1948 Lincoln pennies, collectors still hold them in high regard due to their historical value and association with the post-war period. However, because of the widespread mintage and commonality of these coins, most collectors focus on acquiring specimens in higher grades or those with distinctive errors. Next up, we have the 1946 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent with a D mint mark in very bad condition. Now, the term bad condition can mean different things in the world of coin collecting, and for this specific coin, it refers to one that suffered quite a bit of wear and tear. But despite its rough appearance, this coin can still hold substantial value in today's market. Let's explore why this is the case. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck in the aftermath of World War II, a time when the U.S. economy was transitioning back to peacetime production. Abraham Lincoln's portrait which has graced the penny since 1909, continued to be featured prominently, symbolizing both the nation's resilience and the ongoing admiration for the 16th President of the United States. The Lincoln cent has long been a part of the American consciousness, making this coin both historically significant and highly collectible. However, the 1946 coin itself holds unique characteristics because it marks the return to a peaceful economic period after the conflict, and collectors view this era as one of transition. It's a fascinating point in time that adds to the overall appeal of the coin. The D-Mint mark indicates that this coin was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the 3 primary U.S. mints responsible for coinage. Though the mint mark may not be rare in itself, the overall condition and specific traits of the 1946 penny make it of interest to collectors. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny carries the same design as its predecessors. On the obverse, we find the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This image was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday, and it became an enduring symbol of U.S. coinage. On the reverse, the coin features 2 stalks of wheat on either side of the inscription E pluribus unum, with the denomination 1 cent beneath it. This design was in circulation from 1909 until 1958, and although it's relatively simple, it holds immense historical value. Now, in terms of condition, the 1946 D Wheat Penny in bad condition is heavily worn, with severe surface abrasions, discoloration, and heavy damage to the details. The coin may appear unattractive to the casual observer. However, even in this state, the coin's value may still surprise you, particularly when considering its rarity in specific grades. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted in large numbers, with approximately 1.1 billion produced. The high mintage means that these coins are not particularly rare, but the sheer volume of circulating coins means that finding examples in good or excellent condition is actually quite challenging. Over time, many of these pennies have deteriorated due to years of circulation. However, even a coin in poor condition like this one still has value because the D-Mint mark gives it a slight rarity boost over its counterparts minted in Philadelphia. When coins like this are found, especially in bulk, collectors still show interest for the historical significance of the piece, even if the coin isn't pristine. Despite the poor condition, this 1946 D Wheat Penny in very bad condition could fetch anywhere between $92,400 at auction, depending on the specifics of the coin's damage and its appeal to collectors looking to complete their sets. While this price range may not be extraordinary compared to pristine or uncirculated versions, it still holds value in terms of historical context and minting rarity. One key point here is that collectors often look for coins like this to fill in the gaps of their collection, especially for pennies from the 1940s. For those who are just getting started in coin collecting, a coin like this can be a low-cost entry into the world of numismatics, with the potential for value increases as demand for older U.S. coins grows. As for errors, there are no known major varieties for the 1946 D in bad condition that would significantly increase its value. However, off-center strikes or die cracks can occasionally add to a coin's worth, even in lower grades. Collectors are always on the lookout for interesting anomalies in coins that add to their uniqueness. If you happen to come across a 1946 D with a visible error, it could be worth a bit more, potentially moving the price into the $89,000 range, depending on how striking the error is. Next up, we have the 1946 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent, large date with D-Mint mark in extra fine condition. This coin represents a dramatic contrast to the earlier coin in terms of condition, and its value reflects that. Just like the 1946 penny we discussed earlier, this coin was minted after World War I during a period of peace and economic recovery in the United States. The Lincoln Penny series, which began in 1909, continued to be a favorite among both the general public and collectors. By the mid-1940s, the coin had already become a familiar sight in everyday transactions. The 1946 large date variant was struck in a way that the numbers 1 and 9 appear larger than those in earlier years, which has led to some confusion among collectors and numismatists. This particular design change wasn't intentional, but rather a result of changes in the die-making process. The D-Mint mark indicates this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The design features remain identical to earlier issues, with the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the wheat stalks on the reverse. What differentiates this coin from other 1946 pennies is the size of the digits in the year, creating a large date version. The D-Mint mark further distinguishes it from the Philadelphia minted coins. In extra fine condition, this coin will exhibit clear details with very minimal wear on Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks. The fine details on the reverse will still be sharp, and the coin will have a clear, visible mint mark on the obverse. Extra fine means that the coin has seen very little circulation, making it much more valuable than coins that have been heavily worn. The 1946 D large date penny was minted in large quantities, with over 500 million coins produced at the Denver Mint alone. However, since the 1946 penny was in circulation for decades, finding one in extra fine condition is rare. Most of the coins that survived have been worn down, so finding one with minimal circulation damage adds a significant premium to its value. A 1946 D large date penny in extra fine condition could be worth anywhere from $100,000 to $200 in today's market. The value can fluctuate based on demand, but coins in this grade typically see strong auction prices because collectors often seek them for their excellent visual appeal and historical significance. For those with a keen eye and a bit of patience, this type of coin can become a centerpiece in a collection of post-World War IIUS coins. Coins in extra fine condition are also sought after by those trying to assemble a complete set of Lincoln pennies from various years and mints. The large date variety itself is an error in terms of the die-making process, and that's one reason why collectors find it interesting. Although not particularly rare in comparison to some other types of errors, collectors still find this large date feature intriguing and collectible. This can sometimes push its value even higher if it's paired with an additional anomaly, like an off-center strike or die crack. Next up, the 1945 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1-cent coin with a D mint mark is a highly sought after coin in today's market, especially in circulated condition. To understand why this coin holds such immense value, let's first look at its historical background. The Lincoln Wheat Cent series was first introduced in 1909, celebrating the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This was the first time a U.S. coin featured a real person's image on the obverse, and it became an iconic part of U.S. coinage. The 1945 penny, part of the final years of the Wheat Cent series, was struck in the aftermath of World War IE, a time when the U.S. economy was transitioning into the post-war period. During World War IE, there was a significant shortage of copper due to its use in military materials. As a result, in 1943, the U.S. government began minting steel pennies, but by 1945, the economy was recovering and the traditional copper composition returned. The 1945 Lincoln penny, particularly the one with a D mint mark indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint, is part of that post-war copper era. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat Cent features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse design depicts a left-facing bust of Lincoln, with the inscription "Liberty to the right and in God we trust" above. Below the portrait, the year 1945 is inscribed. The reverse side, designed by Frank Gasparo, displays two stalks of wheat framing the D mint mark can be found beneath the wheat stalks, signifying that it was produced at the Denver Mint. In 1945, the U.S. Mint produced over 1.1 billion pennies. This high mintage figure means that, in general, 1945 pennies are not as rare as some other years. However, the 1945 D mint mark coins stand out because of their distinct strike quality and their higher demand among collectors. In circulated condition, the value of the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D mint mark typically falls within the range of $88,000 depending on its grade and wear. However, a well-preserved coin with minimal wear can fetch higher values, especially in the higher grade circulated categories. The 1945 D Lincoln penny holds steady value due to its iconic status and historical context. While not as rare as some of the other rarer Lincoln wheat cent varieties, the coin is a staple for collectors. Its historical association with the end of World War II and the transition back to regular coin production adds to its appeal. Additionally, the coin is an essential piece for anyone seeking to complete a full set of Lincoln wheat pennies. Collectors often seek out high-grade examples, as these coins are relatively easy to find in lower grades. A well-preserved coin with minimal wear may sell for a premium. Many collectors also pursue the 1945 D penny for its connection to the broader history of U.S. coins, especially those who specialize in U.S. mint marks and wartime production. Though the 1945 D Lincoln penny does not have any significant mint errors that dramatically affect its value, collectors should always be on the lookout for variations that might arise due to die wear or planchette issues. Occasionally, you may come across examples where the strike is weak or there's a noticeable doubling in the lettering or design elements, which can make the coin a rare find. Collectors of Lincoln wheat pennies know that even minor errors or abnormalities can significantly increase a coin's value. So keep an eye out for those subtle details that can elevate the value of a seemingly ordinary 1945 D penny. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting.